Right, good evening everyone. Welcome to the meeting of the Planning Committee of Tamworth Borough Council. Can I remind members to turn your mics on before speaking and turn them off when you're not speaking, and please speak clearly. If you do wish to speak, please indicate by raising your hand. Please note this meeting is being recorded and live broadcast on the internet. We'll move to the agenda. Item number 1, apologies from councillors. We've had apologies from councillors Marie Bailey, Stephen Pritchard and Paul Brinley. You've got those, Jodie. Councillor Box isn't present. I've not heard from him though. And all of the members are present. We'll move to item 2, the minutes of the previous meeting. Does anybody have an issue? Do we have a mover and a seconder for those minutes, please? Moved by Councillor Goodall, seconded by Councillor Norkie. Thank you. We'll take those and consider them signed as a correct record, please. Item 3 on the agenda, declarations of interest. Does anybody have a declaration of interest for tonight's meeting? No. So we'll move to item 4, which is applications for consideration. There's 2 applications on the agenda tonight. 0051 2021, which relates to 24 Kepler, Lichfield Road Industrial Estate, and 0143 2021, which relates to BD Schenker at Centurion Way. Both applications are going to be presented by Sally Price, so I will ask Sally to present the first application, please.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair. The first application, as you've said, is at 24 Kepler. So if we can have a look at the site plan, the next slide. The site is located on the eastern side of Mariner, which is the spine road through Lichfield Road Industrial Estate. If you can just see on the screen, Coton Lane is at the top of the screen, so it's towards the very top end of the industrial estate, bounded on the left-hand side with the West Coast Railway line, and to the other sides all around are industrial units, existing industrial units, all served either off Mariner or Kepler. Kepler's the last road to the east of Mariner, so it's located. The site is located actually round the back of existing buildings that front onto Mariner, so you can't actually see the site from the main road. It's an existing industrial building on a site of about 0.4 of a hectare. There's trees to the boundary of the site. If we perhaps look on the next slide, which shows the that's easier to see, shows the aerial view. So the trees that are bounding the site sort of down the centre of that screen, that follows a watercourse, a small stream. If we perhaps look at the next slide, it shows the layout of the proposed new building. So it's virtually double the size of the existing building. The proposal is to demolish the existing building and build a new one. And you can probably see at the southern end of the picture some large HGVs, and you can see that they can turn within the site. Parking is up to the northeast of the site. The next slide shows some indications of the elevations. You can see there's a canopy that projects beyond the existing, where the existing building was, but it projects beyond the new building. A typical industrial style building with appropriate materials for an industrial building. The issues with the application, which are indicated in the report. Basically, the site, as I said, is an existing industrial site, and this building will be for industrial purposes. So In terms of use, there's no real concern over that. The size is 1,115 square metres of gross external area, so it's a fairly large building and larger than the existing, but that in itself is not any great issue. We perhaps look at the next slide. That shows a 3D model, so you can see it better in context with the other industrial buildings around. So you can see it's same sort of scale as other buildings, and in keeping in terms of height and whatever. So the issues for consideration are the principle of development firstly, and the report sets out the policy basis, and this concludes that in principle the demolition of the existing warehouse to facilitate the provision of a new warehouse is acceptable. The policies, strategic policies, suggest that the expansion of any existing business within the use classes named there will be supported, and as the proposal is for the expansion of an existing warehouse unit, it therefore accords with the policies indicated. That's policy EC7, which is indicated in your report. The other things that we need to consider when we're looking at a site such as this is other issues that may have an impact. One of which is the highway safety issues. And in this case, the Staffordshire County Council Highways, they've been consulted and they've concluded that the development can be permitted with various conditions. They say that the site is well located for access using sustainable modes. It's got cycle connections, pedestrian connections, bus connections. They also say that the proposed levels of parking, which in this case is 18 standard spaces and 1 disabled space and 3 cycle spaces, they say that that is acceptable and accords with their policy and their requirements. They also say traffic impacts are acceptable on the surrounding highway network. They've submitted a full transport assessment which goes through the details of the additional traffic. So that's not considered to be an issue. In terms of conditions, they've asked for conditions regarding provision of turning areas to be provided. That's condition 6 in the report. They've asked for provision of cycle storage, that's in condition 7, and a construction management plan to be provided, which would be in use over the whole phase of development of the building. That's condition 10 in the report. Other considerations are the design and impact on the visual amenity. Well, as I've mentioned, it's a building that would be of a suitable design. It's a suitable industrial style of building. The materials would be suitable. It would not appear incongruous or out of scale with the site or surrounding development. So that therefore would comply with policy. It's policy EN5 is the relevant one there. And the next issue is regarding trees and ecology. I've mentioned the trees along the boundary of the site. Some of those are to be removed. A lot of it is hedging and fairly scruffy looking hedging, so a lot of that is to be removed, but we've also suggested a condition to provide further landscaping or new landscaping as the after the development has gone ahead. There's also an issue regarding biodiversity, and the county ecologist has been consulted regarding that, and the results of that, she was happy that the development could be accepted with conditions that again are mentioned in the report. There's a condition regarding no vegetation clearance to take place between the bird nesting season between 1st of May and the end of September. Details to be provided for 2 bird boxes and 2 bat boxes on the site. There's obviously been some evidence of birds and bats nesting there, and that a lighting scheme should be approved before development commences. That's to ensure that there's no impact on the habitats in the area. So the ecologists were satisfied that those conditions would address the issues raised. The next issue was regarding flooding and flood risk and drainage. There have been a number of discussions with the applicant regarding this, but as you'll see from the report, the conclusion is that the development would not increase flood risk within the site or the surrounding areas. There's already some existing defences, code defences that defend the site from flooding. And you'll see in the report and also in the conditions that there are a number of fairly detailed conditions regarding the actual design of the drainage channels and the flood evacuations and flood evacuation plan and management plans that would be required for that the development. Other matters just indicated in the report, through the consultations, we've had some comments from Cadent Gas through the National Grid, just regarding safety of apparatus, and also from Staffordshire Fire and Rescue, and also from